it would give you less zoning control for sure. I mean, you'd have,
Right.
one thermostat per floor or
Right.
two maybe, but that's the big drawback. But yeah, we can certainly look at that.
When would we need to get some bids in, or, I mean, get out there so that we're getting some heating in here before the snow flies?
Well, I was thinking, actually, probably need to get prices back no later than August 1st.
Did you say August 1st?
And that's even pushing it because
And it's
we're,
gonna take some negotiating with the people with the grant, because you're supposed to have possession of the equipment by August 2nd.
yeah.
So,
Yeah, and I sent you that schedule. I think if we zero in on just the HVAC system, I think we can go ahead and get that out to bids and probably get prices back sometime in July.
mhm.
But there's no way, I mean, the mechanical systems these days are 6 to 8 weeks out, period, so we're already too late to meet that schedule.
And I think because of the shortness of the grant and the window that's involved with that, I think they're willing to work with us on
Right.
that.
Sooner the better.
So we're gonna leave it to, you will bring this back more information so they can make a comparison then, Steve?
Correct.
How about, maybe for the next meeting, we'll have the HVAC option or this reverse option,
Right.
and then we'll choose which one we wanna put out for bid.
Right.
Okay,
And, by then the engineer should be able to refine it a little bit further and know exactly how many units he's talking about and that type of thing. So, okay.
thank you, Steve. Go to item number 8.
I do have a question on that. If it's a tie, can the mayor break the tie on? Because I'm gonna be gone next meeting, so we'll have an even number of council members, unless somebody else wants to leave too.
Okay,
Sorry, Bob, you're not allowed to go.
You're not allowed to go.
No, I'll be good. You guys call my wife.
Well-
I'm just, potentially,
I understand where you're coming from. Well, by that time, hopefully we'll have some information and we can contact you before you leave and get your thoughts.
One of us can get sick and leave the room.
Okay, thank you, Bob. Item 8, consideration of letting bids for the 20th Avenue Street lighting project.
Received the estimate and the plans back from Crawford's here a week or two ago on the 20th Avenue lighting. And what we were looking at was lighting the area that where we're doing the widening. So essentially from that north entrance of MHI up to the north to where the project ends close to by Peter Schmitz there really was the initial area we were looking at. And that's the estimate for $105,000 to do that area. And when we sat down with the Streets Committee this last week to review it, there was a suggestion made that we should look at the estimate of what it would take to extend that all the way to First Street. And so with that, I talked to John, and he's put an estimate of cost together for that additional amount, plus an estimate from what it would be from the south end of the project to Bland, just to give us some ideas of costs on the project. So,
106,000.
it's $106,000 for the area that we were initially talking about, and I believe it's about another 33 or 30, yeah, another 33,600 to take it all the way to First Street. The area then going south, we have an estimate of 73,845, but that might have to be a separate project just because we changed the service areas. By then then you're going into REC, so it has to be a separate system. So. Maybe John, if you just want to kind of go over some of the aspects of the project, what we're talking about, what we're looking at.
Okay, one of the things that we did in the
call it the basic layout there for the turning lanes, was the wire was sized to make these two extensions at some time in the future. Now, whether you wanna go ahead with those now or not, but the wire is sized that, out of the one controller, we can get all the way to Bland on the south, and on the north, we can go to First Street with the wiring that we're installing on the school lighting part of it. I did visit with a contractor today, and I think, time is a little bit of the essence here. He said there's a 12 to 16 week, lead time to get the equipment after we get bids. And, so if we're gonna add, like, for instance, if we're gonna add, we're ready to go to bid now with the basic package on the turning lanes. We'd need about a week to add a plan sheet or two to go north to First Street. And, originally we talked about June 20th as a date for getting bids, and then you'd have the hearing at your second meeting in June. But if we add some more to it, well, or even at this point, I would think be kinda tight to get into that June 20th bid date. We're probably gonna move the bid date back to the second meeting in July if we add any to it. But, he thought it'd be reasonable to, probably at least get the foundations in the ground and, possibly, have the lights energized by the 15th of December. We've got some surface restoration work that they'll have to do with their trenching, and, that would have to be put off until spring. So, but that order time that the contractor needs in there to get the material is gonna, extend it out a little bit.
Yeah, 'cause we were originally looking about an October 1st.
Yeah. That's why I called him.
It's a good call.
So are you recommending we just do what we planned on doing, the lights by
Well,
the
I think
school?
it'd be easy to add that up to First Street. Now, I looked at that area today, and of course, the lighting is just along the north side of First Street out there at that intersection. And there's two lights positioned there. One is west of the intersection, this is on the north side. And, we'll have to do some surveying there and see what the geometrics of those, of the intersection. You got that wide turning radiuses there. And, to see how many, we think 5 more lights there will do it, but it might take an extra one because of that wide turning area. But I think it'd be easy to add that north end to this and get the bids at the second meeting in, July, if that's something you wish to pursue.
You talking about making it a
Alternate.
alternate bid?
Bid it as an alternate to the basic, turning lane project, lighting project.
Is it possible to put both of them on there as alternates?
Yes. That would extend the lighting down to Bland. And I did look at that area south of Bland. The only lights south of there on that 20th Avenue corridor are right at the ramps, at the interchange. It's 2,900 feet down there, but that would be a separate project, but the cost of that is about $175,000.
Do you think it's a
Less than
good
I thought it was
idea to
gonna be.
put streetlights in before they develop that land?
I think along the street corridor it is. That's very similar to the project on 150 South here that, made quite a difference on